Hello, everyone, and welcome to the weekly episode of the Seattle Baseline Podcast. My name is Julian Smith, and I'm with Alex Hong. Alex, the Mariners did it. They made the first move, a punch first move with Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor is a Seattle Mariner. How do you feel about this trade?
Yeah, I am hyped, Julian. This was a really good way to start out the trade deadline. I mean, the Mariners, they made the first move, in fact, the first big move of this trade deadline this season, and they got a really good player in Josh Naylor. So the details of the trade. The Mariners traded away Brandon Garcia, who is their 13th ranked prospect, Ashton Izzy, who is also their 16th ranked prospect, in exchange for first baseman Josh Naylor. So let's talk about the players that the Mariners gave up. So the first player I'll talk about is their 13th ranked prospect in Brandon Garcia. So he's a left-handed pitcher. And interesting enough, the Mariners, so he got promoted to the MLB to the majors like very recently, and he did come out for them for the relief pitching a little bit, but he was actually projected to be a starter like originally as a prospect. And then the Mariners decided this season to want to move him to the bullpen. So it's going to be pretty interesting to see what the Diamondbacks do about him. The Diamondbacks already moved him back down to the minors. So I'm actually pretty curious. I feel like the Diamondbacks could try to make him a starter because he has the potential to definitely be a starter. So whether or not he'll be a good one is the question for sure. So if he can actually get to a level where he is a good starter, then he could be a good player. But I feel like if he's not a starter, then he's going to be a decent reliever. So I feel like he has a decently higher floor and a not as high of a ceiling
Mhm.
type of player. So we gave up kind of a safe hit or miss potential reliever or starter. We don't know. So there's not much. I don't think we didn't give up something drastic or like one of our superstars for sure. So, do you want to talk about the other guy?
Yeah, so I want to talk about Ashton Izzy. I've been high on this guy for a while because this guy's fastball, Ashton Izzy's fastball, is ridiculous. This fastball, he might be the second coming of Brian Wu if he ends up coming up as a starter. The he's not he's not a very good pitcher in general. That's the issue. He's a lottery ticket. I mean that they're buying his fastball. His If he becomes a decent pitcher in general with that fastball, he will be an elite pitcher easily. And so that's what they're banking on with Ashton Izzy. I'd say Ashton Izzy has a much better potential to be that all-star, that crazy pitcher, Cy Young type than Garcia does.
That's interesting. So yeah, so the Mariners, we didn't give up too much, is what is what I'm thinking here. So we didn't give up one of our top 100 prospects. We didn't even give up one of our top 10 prospects in general. We gave up a few hit or miss lottery tickets, and honestly, the Diamondbacks didn't have much leverage in this trade. Everyone knew they were selling. Everyone knew they wanted to get rid of Naylor. So I mean, the Mariners got a pretty good player for 2 months. I mean, he's going to be a free agent next year, so this was a clear rental situation. So the Mariners definitely did pretty good in this trade, I think. We didn't give up too much, and we got a player who could help us win now. So I think we should talk about what Josh Naylor can potentially bring to this team. So what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, Josh Naylor is an exceptional first baseman. He he basically checks the box on everything that the Mariners need from a hitter. He First of all, he has power. That's amazing for any hitter. He's got contact ability, and contact ability not just in the zone, but he has contact ability outside of the zone. He doesn't chase very much, but even if he does chase, he's still hitting that ball. And most of the time when he hits the ball, he's barreling it up, even if it's outside of the zone. So Josh Naylor is a premium hitter in that sense. This year, the home run number has dropped quite a bit, but he's been hitting a lot more doubles. He's been getting on a lot more bases. So the Mariners just got the first baseman that they needed for this run that they're going to make right now.
And yeah, we definitely needed a first baseman. I mean, if we look at who was playing before, we had Luke Raley and we had Donovan Solano. So we had two very mediocre or platoon players. Usually when you platoon, you're hoping the players would be better than what we were getting out of. But no, we were platooning for mediocrity. So it was pretty bad, and we definitely needed an improvement in that position. And Josh Naylor is able to play every day. And he's definitely better on the right side, but it's not a situation where we need to platoon him. He's still pretty good against the left against left-handed pitchers. So I think this is a really big boost to this offense. It's a massive upgrade at first base, which was definitely a position we needed to upgrade on. So it balanced the question on what we do with Luke Raley, because the problem with him is now he's basically playing the same position as Dominic Canzone, except Canzone has been playing a lot better than Raley. So it begs the question on what we do with him. But I'm honestly fine with this trade. It's a really good trade. I think the Mariners did really well, and this was really necessary for the team. And it shows a few things. It shows the Mariners are willing to contend this year. I mean, you wouldn't have traded for anybody if you were content on just doing nothing and not trying to win at all. So it shows that the Mariners do are trying to make some kind of effort to win this season. And it also shows that the Mariners are actually, yes, like I said, invested into winning, which is, I think, a good thing.
Yeah. And Josh Naylor brings something to us that basically nobody else in the entire league can bring, and that's that look. I mean, Josh Naylor, he he doesn't look like the typical Mariner. Your typical Mariner is the Julio Rodriguez, J.P. Crawford, Dominic Canzone, like the skinny type that can hit for power for some reason. I don't know how, but Josh Naylor is a big guy and he has that like different aura to him. I hope he brings that to the clubhouse. I hope that Josh Naylor can be that boost to the Mariners, not just on the field as in batting average and all these different stats. That matters, but Josh Naylor in the clubhouse matters too, and that's a big boost to the clubhouse. Speaking of a clubhouse guy, former Mariner Eugenio Suarez from that same team, the Arizona Diamondbacks, is looking to be traded, and I'm super excited for this. Alex, how do you feel if do you think that Eugenio Suarez is the move that the Mariners should be making right now?
It is definitely a move that they should consider making. So there are good and bad things about possibly making this move. Let's talk about what the Diamondbacks are trying to do. Everybody knows the Diamondbacks are trying to get rid of Eugenio Suarez. If it wasn't obvious before the Josh Naylor trade, it's now really, really obvious after the Josh Naylor trade. Basically, every team in the league knows, including Eugenio Suarez for that matter, that he's going to be out of there very soon. The Diamondbacks are trying to sell. They're trying to blow it up. They're trying to be really terrible and get rid of. They're trying to get as many prospects as they can. So Suarez provides no value for them anymore, other than just trying to get prospects. But one thing that does do is that does decrease his trade value a little bit. Suarez has been one of the best players in the league this year. He's been going crazy. He has 35 home runs and he's basically revolution. Although he's really old and he's like a 35-year-old player, he's playing one of the best. He's playing one of the best years he's ever had. I mean, this he's been incredible this year. So Suarez is definitely a hot commodity. A lot of teams want his production and his power on the bat. But like I said, everyone knows the Diamondbacks are trying to trade him. So that definitely decreases its value a little bit because the Diamondbacks don't have leverage in the negotiation saying, everyone knows they don't want him anymore. So that is one thing to consider. Uh, do you have any thoughts on what Suarez would bring to the Mariners and what they should give up if they want to get Suarez?
Yeah. So when you look at the Mariners situation right now, and if you're going to go all in this trade deadline, which they have at this point, Josh Naylor was a winning contending move. You are winning. You are trying to contend to win the World Series. That's what you're trying to do. Period. And so when you look at this lineup and you look at is this lineup a World Series contending lineup? I don't think Ben Williamson at third base, at least at this point, maybe we can get more batters in other positions, but at this point, is Ben Williamson the third baseman of World Series Seattle Mariners? No, he's not. and I think Eugenio Suarez is. He's a threat. He's a home run threat. He doesn't get on base at too much of a clip. 320 is okay, just around okay, but his power numbers are massive, and the Mariners could really use him at third base.
Yeah, so what we would be doing is right now our third baseman is Ben Williamson, who has been really, really good on defense, but his bat is pretty mediocre and very below average. So, I mean, although Ben Williamson is a prospect bait and we're trying to improve him and see where we can do with him, if we're trying to win the World Series, Ben Williamson is not going to be a part of a World Series Mariners team. So we have to be willing to sacrifice some stuff and maybe push Ben Williamson's potential development aside and put in Suarez into the lineup who can hit and play for the Mariners right now and produce. Because the downgrade we would be getting on defense is going to be not as valuable as the upgrade we would be getting on offense with Suarez. Because Suarez brings a lot of power, like you said, and he brings a lot more threat to the line. Because when Ben Williamson's going to the plate, the pitchers aren't really scared of him for that matter. When Eugenio Suarez goes up to the plate, the other team has to worry about him. So, like a lot more. So this is a big deal to and a big boost to the lineup if we do end up getting Suarez.
So the big thing with Suarez for me, though, I don't think so. If Suarez doesn't hit home runs, then his value drastically drops. His value is up this year. He's having a career year because he has 35 home runs at this point. And look at Cal Raleigh. At the times that he hasn't hit home runs, he's below average. Eugenio Suarez, if he doesn't hit home runs, offensively and defensively, he's probably below average. And so if he doesn't sustain this incredible level of offense that he is right now, especially because he's going to T-Mobile Park, the the home runs aren't going to come to him as much as they do in Arizona, at sunny Arizona. And so to me, a better guy at this trade deadline, and this is another thing when I think about the Mariners World Series lineup, is Stephen Kwan. This big picture thinking of Stephen Kwan is this is a contact guy. This is a guy that can get on base at probably the highest clip you could expect a batter to go. Stephen Kwan at the leadoff spot, because JP Crawford hasn't been playing as well as he was at the start of the season. The on base numbers are quite a bit down. His batting average has been okay, but still it's been down. And so if JP Crawford isn't going to get on base at the clip that we need him to, the way that he was at the start of the season, then he's not a World Series leadoff guy. And Stephen Kwan fixes that problem. He is a Gold Glove defender. He is a very, very fast runner, and he gets on base. So I think that helps the lineup better with Julio Rodriguez and Cal Raleigh behind him. And then rather than Eugenio Suarez playing like the third or fourth cleanup role that your team has, just because Cal Raleigh, Julio Rodriguez, and Randy Arozarena, they're hitting home runs right now. And Josh Naylor has the power to do it. Jorge Polanco has the power to do it. I think Stephen Kwan is a better guy to target. It's much less likely, but in terms of who the Mariners should be really focusing in on, I think it's Stephen Kwan.
That's a very interesting point you bring up because you are right on the fact that the Mariners do have a lot of home run threats on this team. It would be different if the Mariners offense were like the Milwaukee Brewers offense, who barely hits home runs. They're struggling. They need someone. Well, their offense isn't struggling, but they're struggling for power. And that is a team that would more greatly benefit from a power hitter like Eugenio Suarez than the Mariners, who have the home run leader, like you said. They have Randy, they have Julio, who can hit a lot of home runs as well. So we just be adding another home run person to the lineup, but you don't want nine guys who like either hit home runs or they don't. You want a balance between home runs and contact hitters. And right now, we definitely are lacking on the contact hitters more than the power guys. So I actually kind of agree with you. It's going to be hard to find a good like contact hitter that's very reliable that teams are willing to give up because usually the players that are the people are willing to give up are a little older and they're usually more power hitters nowadays. But if the Mariners can get a person like Quan, as you said, that would be, I think, I agree, a bigger boost to the potential of the lineup. If you add in Suarez to the Mariners lineup, it's going to boost the lineup undoubtedly. But if we add a guy like Stephen Kwan, like you mentioned, it's going to be a significant boost to the lineup, which would definitely significantly increase the Mariners' chances of making the playoffs and doing damage and potentially getting to a World Series.
Yeah, because you're adding a guy that's not just better, you're adding a guy that fits the lineup. And I think that's what a team is. You're not putting in 9 Aaron Judges. I mean, Aaron Judge this year, yeah, sure, you're probably putting in 9 Aaron Judges, but like it that's not what this is. There aren't 9 Aaron Judges in baseball. And there's a reason for that because he's playing really well. And that's why you have to find the players around him that complement him. Same with Cal Raleigh, same with Julio Rodriguez, same with Randy Rosarena. You've got 3 players that complement this lineup with home runs. You've got 2 players that are your good, solid, what's it called, cleanup guys at 5 and 6, Jorge Polanco and Josh Naylor. And now it's the time, I think, to move JP Crawford to 9 and then Stephen Kwan to 1. Because imagine if then JP Crawford starts getting on base again. Now you've got JP Crawford gets the walk, Stephen Kwan walks or hits. JP Crawford's now on 2 or 3. Julio Rodriguez home run, bam, 3 runs. That's how you win a World Series, not by just hit. Like not by hit, I mean not just home run, home run, home run. That's 3 runs. Walk, home run is also 3 runs. Make it simple. It's like golf. You don't have to hit the green every single punch shot. You want to hit the easiest shot possible, and that's exactly what Kwan does. His average that he can get on base is the average that he has the ability to score, and that's what we need Stephen Kwan for. I think Stephen Kwan, you're my guy.
Yeah, it's just a question on whether the Guardians would end up willing to give up Quan, and it would obviously cost the Mariners a lot more, like in prospect value, which the Mariners do have a very good farm system, and they do have players within the top 100 that I feel like they would be comfortable moving off of because we have such a rich farm system. So a team like the Mariners, I don't think that would be too much of a problem for them. But yeah, I feel like it is definitely something to consider whether if the Mariners, how much do we want to give up? Do we want to give up our prospects because then we could get a better player, or do you want to give up a little less, which would probably get us Suarez, who isn't won't be as expensive as a player like Quan, who you mentioned, who has like several years left of club control, which would require more prospects to get. So, do you have any other thoughts before we move on?
Nope. I think offensively, these are the players that we need. Kwan over Suarez. Let's win a World Series ring.
Okay. One other position I'm gonna mention is the relief pitching, especially as of lately. I feel like this has become a slight need for the Mariners. Do you have any thoughts to say on the current status of the Mariners relievers?
Yeah. So you've got Andres Munoz, premium reliever. Matt Brash, who's one of the best relievers. I'd say, well, not just one of, he's the definite second, but he's been shaky at times. And Munoz has been shaky at times too. And so your top level guys can't carry you on your shoulders. Andres Munoz and Matt Brash, if they go 2 games in a row, they're not coming out the next game. And so to have that one more leverage guy in the bullpen would be really nice. My 3 picks are Yoan Duran, Emmanuel Clase, and Carlos Estevez. What do you think?
Yeah, so those are all three really good pitchers this season who are on teams that could be willing to sell. The Royals, they have not, these are all teams that like are not probably not going to make the playoffs bound a ridiculous run they're going to have. So there's our teams that are more willing to sell. If we do end up getting Quan, we might end up packaging another thing to get Clase because if they are getting rid of Quan, the Guardians are basically saying we want to sell completely, so they might as well get rid of their closer as well. So I feel like if you do get Quan in a trade, then getting Clase as well in the trade would be not too hard to add on. But this would be a big commitment. If we did get both of those players, obviously the Mariners would have to give up a lot to get both of those players. But yeah, in terms of other relievers, honestly, I feel like we just need another reliable arm. It doesn't have to be Clase. It could be any of the names you mentioned. It could be any other good reliever that's been playing this well this year in the league. It doesn't really matter. I feel like we just need another guy we can trust because we've been throwing out Vargas, and every time we throw him out, especially lately, it's been kind of wonky. Trent Thornton, every time we throw him out, I'm just holding my breath. So we have outside of our really good guys, we have players like Legumina. Like if he comes out there, then I'm really, really holding my breath. So we definitely need more reliable relievers, like you said. So any of these guys would work. I'm fine with it. I just want a little more confidence going into like maybe the seventh or eighth inning, and I don't want to. There's the Mariners start putting relievers I don't want to see. I want to see the relievers that I actually trust.
Yeah. So in the start of the 2024 season, I think the Mariners went into this saying, okay, we've got Andres Munoz, and then we've got Gregory Santos and Matt Brash. That's a three-headed monster for the Seattle Mariners. That didn't happen. Matt Brash got injured, and then Gregory Santos is nowhere to be found. I literally haven't heard a single word about him in the past, like probably like 2 months since he got injured and was sent down to the minors and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, my personal feeling on this is I want another closer. I want a Munoz Brash type that can come out late in the game. Andres Munoz pitches in the first game of the World Series. Then you have a Emmanuel Clase that can come out and just wreck the other team. Even if Munoz is down, even if Matt Brash is down, Spire and Clase come out and they finish off the game after 7 innings. I think having a closer type, this elite pitcher at the back end of the bullpen, another guy like that is really crucial for the Mariners over trying to get like the mid-tier reliever. Personally, I just don't think that the mid-tier reliever does enough for this team, especially where it's at. And I want a closer.
Okay. Any other
Yeah.
thoughts, Julian?
Nope. Let's win the World Series. Get more hits, get more runs, and win more games. World Series. Let's go. Hey, thank you everyone for watching. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and our beautiful faces on YouTube. Check out our Instagram, and as always, go Mariners.
Go Mariners.